Hey guys, Corey here from the Obsidian Pickaxe, and today I am bringing you an episode of Farming Sim, but also I'm going to kind of go over what the Homer DLC brings in. I just got it today, so I haven't really gotten to use it in any actual game play yet, but I have screwed around with it a little bit, and I have gone ahead and taken some screenshots of it. One of them, which is up right now, that's the biggest piece of machinery it adds in, and I believe it was $450,000. And then the header itself was like another 60, I believe. The tractor's $250,000 or so. But anyway, so what I'm gonna do is I have created a new game and I'm just gonna start on this new game. But yeah. So we'll go back to the game now, and we got our standard setup for the map. I will go through what it adds in. So here it is. So 458,000, which isn't bad considering the Grim Maxtron 620 is 479,000. As far as what you get, it's not that bad of a deal. This is way better for harvesting beets than this is. This has a bigger capacity, that has a teeny tiny capacity, and you'll be unloading it all the time. And then there's the head for it, which I'm not sure why it's not underneath headers, but who cares. So that's 57,000. So together you're in about half a million, a little bit over. But let's see. So there is that manure spreader, which is an attachment for the tractor, which is all the way over here. So that's 250,000 there. So none of the equipment it adds in is cheap, but it's all gonna come into play eventually. There's the beet harvester, 35,000 liters, and then there's the grain tank, which is 25,000 liter, which again isn't that bad. Let's see. It does add in a header trailer for it. The transfer trailer, it's 15,000. You can put the header on that and tow it. I have put the that on the stock lowboy that comes with the with Farming Sim. It works for the most part, but it doesn't work the best. What else? Oh yeah, it does add in a slurry tank and sprayer for the tractor that comes in with this, and the tractor does have a 3-point hitch and a normal hitch on the back of it. Doesn't add in the fertilizer. What else? I'm trying to remember what all it adds in. I think that's about it. Might have been a few things I left out. Yeah. So I believe that is about it, and we'll get this worker over here. As far as mods I am using, I do have the drive control mod. As you can see, you got to press and hold enter to start it up, and then control space to get the e-brake off. I also have manual attach, which works on just about all of them, but I gotta unfold it. But we'll get this worker working on that, and we'll go ahead and so, like trailers, you have to come over here and attach them manually, along with any drive lines or hydraulic lines. That's the only complaint I have about this game, is there's no hydraulic lines, which there really should be, which I think would be a lot of fun if they added those in, you know, just as an aesthetic. But since they don't, it doesn't matter. Also, any 3-point attachments you have to hook up manually. And we're gonna go ahead and move this on over to where we are working. We always start out with Field 30H, which never made much sense to me because it's so far away from everything that you really just don't have time to be running machinery back and forth, is what I've found. I mean, I've done it, but it just really sucks. We probably will get some forestry equipment and do a little bit of forestry so we can get some quick cash in and possibly buy one of these fields over here. We're going to cut down all those trees that are over here on the left so that our combine harvesters aren't running into that. And we'll do some logging kind of over, probably just over by 24, and we just kind of drove through our field. And there is a drive lane mod, which when you drive over the wheat, it does stamp it down with a random chance that it will grow back. But it's not recommended to drive on it with that mod. I used to have that mod installed, but I had since uninstalled it. And as you can see, so this requires a PTO, so you press Z and the PTO gets hooked up. We'll get this filled up with seed. We always start out with a tractor down here for some reason, and it never really made sense to me. Also, what never made sense to me is the fact that these tractors are so cheap for a lot of horsepower compared to all the other ones in game. Not sure why they did that. They should have just added in a bunch of small scale farming stuff to start out on so you could work your way up the tractor line, and this kind of screws it all up. But it is an older series of tractor, so it doesn't really matter that much. But anyway, so we're gonna just head down here and we're just gonna use the tractor to push all these big oak trees in there, which should give us quite a bit of cash really quickly. Then we're gonna cultivate and plant that field and wait for that to grow. But let me know in the comments if you guys want to see me do some multiplayer farming sim, because I will do that. I could do it on this map, or I could do it on a separate map, you know, so also leave that in the comment description. And it looks like they kind of made some improvements in one of the more recent updates on the tree falling, because now I find that trees fall more often rather than just kind of stay there. Engage our 4-wheel drive and diff lock. I think eventually we will just buy a skid steer for doing this. So I know I've used those on other save games, and the skid steers work really good. Which, if you guys aren't familiar with that, it adds, the JCB DLC adds in the skid steer, which is extremely useful. It adds in the telehandler there, it adds in a wheel loader here, And it adds in 2 tractors down here, which that one looks really weird and that one does not. And as well, I do have the golden edition of Farming Sim, which adds in all these harvesters here, which adds in a nice smaller version of the Chrome Big X, which is nice. And then there's always the free New Holland DLC and all that crap. I do have a Peterbilt log truck just because my friend wanted me to have it. And then I do have that conveyor belt, which is handy for doing lots of offloading and loading of silage. So once we get some livestock, that'll come in handy, as well as just doing some silage to make a lot of money. Eventually we will buy ourselves a Tatra since it's the cheapest, truck there is out there. The cheapest semi-truck. And semi-trucks are much needed in this game. I really wish they would have added in a double axle version of the MAN. Because I hate hauling heavy loads with the single axle MAN because the front end bobs around too much. They needed to just add in a 3-axle version of it. But I'm not sure why they didn't do that, but I'm hoping they'll have that eventually, and I'm hoping the Homer DLC will eventually come out with the potato harvesters. I'm not sure if Homer makes them, but it'd be nice if there was a second option for the potato harvesters. But I think this tree's a little big, a little stubborn to go into the mill pond. But I also might do some American truck recording, although my graphics card's not the best, and that was weird. But I will be getting a GTX 960 4GB soon when I get the money for it, and then I'll be able to stream and record a lot more games, which will be nice. And as you can see, this is on high graphics settings, and I'm getting 35 FPS while recording, which isn't that bad. I usually get about 45 FPS. But in American Truck Sim and Euro Truck Sim, I generally get about 30 to 25 FPS without recording, and I'd have to do some testing while recording to figure out whether I could record it for you now or whether that's gonna have to wait until I get a better graphics card. Because right now I'm just running on the integrated R7, I think, graphics technology or something, whatever just came with my motherboard. I got the Asus A88X Plus, which is an extremely good motherboard for what it costs, and of course all the Asus technology that comes with it is also really nice. Let's see, we got 23,000 now, and I think I gotta unload that. But once I get the money for that, then I'll, record and stream a lot more games, such as The Forest, which I also bought today. And I think that'll be a pretty good series there. And possibly Space Engineers. I'm considering getting that game, although I'm not sure if I'll be able to run it since they kind of added in the planets update, and that screwed everybody over, and now just about nobody can play it because nobody gets a good enough FPS. So I'm hoping having a 4GB card will help with that. but we'll see. Also, Medieval Engineers is a game that's in beta or alpha or beta testing right now, and it's $20, I believe. And I believe it's made by the same people who made the Space Engineers game. So I might get that once maybe my friends get it, so it makes it worth playing, because as it looks right now, it doesn't look like there's really anything for you to do in single player besides build. Not 100% sure on that, but at the moment I do believe that there really isn't any AIs that'll attack you randomly or, you know, do anything like that. But so that's the only reason I'm kind of reluctant to buy it. Plus it's $20, and I don't really, you know, there's some other things I wanted to buy. So I really haven't made my mind up on what I'm going to do with that money. But eventually I will get that Medieval Engineers game, because I'm kind of a medieval fan. Far Skies, another one that I might do. I think I get a good enough FPS on it now. But I've had a lot of issues with it crashing on Windows 10, so I'll have to see if that's going to be something worth doing. I'll have to play a couple hours on it and make sure that it's not just going to crash after, you know, a half hour playing, or else then it could really screw up, you know, doing any kind of series on it. But other than that, you guys can recommend games for me to play, and I will do some streaming of, let's see, streaming of Team Fortress 2 and streaming of a couple other games. And my stream name is the Obsidian Pickaxe _ YouTube.com or YouTube. Shouldn't be too hard to find me on there. Not very many people with that username. But other than that, I really not sure what else to do. On this one map I was playing on, I keep getting these crashes, and I'm not sure why, which pisses me off, because I've been playing on that map since day one of my, you know, whole entire thing of playing Farming Sim. So it's kind of heartbreaking, but it's not that big of a deal. And I'll set a goal of like, what, 10 likes for the next Farming Sim video coming out sometime next week. Wednesday. I'll try getting the video up Wednesday of next week if you guys can hit 10 likes on this video. It's not a whole lot of likes in my opinion, but I figure that's a good starter goal, and maybe we'll go up for each and every episode slowly but surely. Other than that, and it's glitched. We'll see if this thing just goes flying across the map like the last one did. It looks like I'm a bit stuck. try cutting that off. That should get us unstuck, and hopefully I'll still be able to push that in there. Okay, yeah. Also, once I do eventually get my new graphics card, I will play with some modded maps, as well as playing and trying to upload videos a bit more often. Oh jeez, it's glitched again. It's like the tree finds these little invisible holes in the map and just falls into it. I'll try pushing this so we hear in there, which doesn't look like I'm going to be able to until I go ahead and get the JCB skid steer, which I should be able to get soon here. Well, actually I can take it out alone and get it right now. But I'll save that for the next video. And this tree would go in there and stop being a glitched little tree. Okay, so that's 41. I think we'll try it. I would say we try selling one more tree, but I'm gonna call that good. There's 60. That should be enough to get, yeah. The log fork for it. And here it is. So at least I'll get to show off one thing from the JCB DLC this video. It does handle just like a skid steer should, with basically just 360-degree turning on spot. It is rather sensitive if you're going at slow speeds and turning. It doesn't stop turning for a little bit. But these things are extremely useful early on in the game when you can't afford, you know, anything too big. So, highly recommended for starting out your game. Simply because they're probably one of the most useful pieces of machinery you can get early on for a relatively low amount of money. But other than that, there really isn't much use for, there isn't any specific use for them. It's just a kind of a preference use kind of thing. It's good for scooping wood chips early on in the game when you can't afford the tractor, as well as lifting pallets for your sheep. If you do a lot of sheep related, you know, if you do sheep related maps and you have to go pick up the wool, it is really good for that due to its, you know, 360-degree turning radius. Although you have to be careful with that because the pallets will actually slide right off the forks if you go too fast. But other than that, it's really good for stacking. It's really small and it's really versatile for getting into the small little places. Other than that, there isn't a whole lot to say about it. There are quite a few uses for it. and how much you use it really depends on what you need to use it for and what your preference is as far as the equipment goes. But I think my ultimate goal in this series is going to be getting that. That'll be nice to get, and then we'll harvest some beet fields and hopefully make a lot of money off that. As far as what crop I should harvest next, I'll have to look at the trying to think of what to call it now. Basically just a page that tells you all the prices, the price page, I guess you could call it. And figure out which crops are going to be going up soon. But as you can see, this thing has quite a bit of power for how small it is as far as lifting capabilities go. Other than that, it's rather small and you can't lift everything with it. This thing's still glitched into the ground. See if we can't pull this out. Ugh. This should fetch us $100 right here. 72. Close enough. Oh, shit. It's gonna need it. And as you can see, they do have some tweaking to do on these, because these things are fully submersible submarines. Down to a certain depth. But that's it for this one, guys. Join me next time, and I'll see you in the next one.